Okay, so the whip-only death fight. Now, there's a fair bit of variation in this fight in exactly how the scythes spawn, but you start eventually recognising some patterns and knowing what you can and can't do. And there's a few basic ideas we sort of use to try and navigate this fight. So we're going to be trying to sort of whip Death as much as we can and stay somewhat close to him. We don't want to be sort of on the opposite side of the screen to him, because that's when things can really get out of hand and his pattern really gets out of control, when he'll start moving and flying around the middle platform a lot. That's not quite what we want. So to sort of start the fight, we're going to be walking to the middle, then we're going to be walking to about here. I mean, there's kind of wherever you want, but kind of the front foot of Simon's kind of sticking off the block. Then we'll do a whip buffer, then we'll do a jump and whip as Death's coming down, then we'll do a standing whip on that first scythe that will spawn there. Then we'll start chasing Death towards the left and jumping to jump whip him. Usually you can get four whips in, sometimes only 3. Sometimes if he also will sometimes move either quickly or slowly. If he's moving slowly, we might want to just hesitate in the middle of the platform ever so slightly, just so we don't start jumping too early and things go horribly wrong. So I'll try and show you how this sort of looks here. We'll also be doing any turnaround standing whips for particular scythes that are going to get in our way or might cause us problems later on. So let's see if I can show you what I mean here. So we're going to do the whip buffer, jump and whip, standing whip to get rid of that. 4 whips, get rid of those scythes, jump and whip that, and that will also get rid of that scythe. Get rid of the turn around to get rid of those scythes, and you can always just about make it under there. And there's that. So I'll try and show a few different other variations here, because there's a fair few ways the scythes can spawn and move. There's a lot, as I said, there's a lot of variation to this fight, but you'll often start seeing a lot of the same sort of patterns. See, like, oh, okay, so I was too late that time. I went for an extra whip on Death, and then that caused problems. But we still made it, just about. If you ever find yourself in trouble in this fight, though, see if I can try and show. So let me just start the fight and say things go in trouble here. Say, oh, and you see the scythes are coming. It's often better to jump and take a boost off Death. Now, it depends how much health you have here. Like, obviously, if you can only survive 1 hit, it's maybe not always the best idea, but if you're in a desperate situation and you know the scythes are going to come and hit you if you keep trying to whip Death, like sometimes I've known in certain fights I've been a bit greedy and gone for a couple of extra hits, and then the scythes have caught up to me. If you can tell that's about to happen, sometimes just jumping into Death and taking a boost away or in the direction he's about to go in is really useful. The last thing you want in these fights is to get hit and then get boosted away from Death, and then he's on the other side of the screen, and then his pattern can often get messed up if you're too far away from him for too long, and he'll start sort of floating around the middle platform, and it gets very, very awkward very quickly. So I'll try to show a couple more variations here if we can. So jump and whip, standing whip, wait a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, whip there, jump and whip, 1, 2, 3, so that's a little awkward. So I kind of ignored my own advice there and tried to be a bit greedy. That's not so good. Okay, still sort of made it, but that's probably not how you want it to go. Okay, let's just do a couple more here, just to be sure. So whip, jump and whip, standing whip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn around and get those. Jump and whip that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn around, whip that. Wait again, jump. That's slightly awkward. So sometimes you think you're seeing a particular pattern you recognise, and then it does something ever so slightly different and you get thrown off. And it's just sort of with practice you start to kind of see what you can get away with and what you can't in this fight. Okay, just one more. So the scythes, so I went for a whip there out of almost muscle memory for scythes that didn't actually spawn. Okay, just make sure, play that safe, and there we go. So hopefully that's at least a little useful. Sorry if the explanation wasn't great. As I said, there's a lot of variation in this fight, so it can be difficult to sort of convey everything at once. But yeah, best of luck with the whip only death fights.